Welcome to BMV Manhwa, your favorite place to watch manhwas. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy the content.
The story started in a fantasy world where the protagonist, Leon, was reincarnated. There he saw a ceiling, and instead of LED bulbs there were candles surrounding him. That world was a fantasy world that lagged behind in civilization compared to the Earth, and suppose that was a fairly rich household. For an orphan without a home who died from overdoing the work, that was a very decent place where he took rebirth. He saw he was in the hands of his mother, and he thought that he was born into a rich family because the mother of that boy was so beautiful, and it seemed that he wouldn't have any problems with his love life in the future. After 3 years, he saw the outside world from the window of his house and commented that it was really a different world. The world outside his cradle was incredibly huge, even considering the fact that he was still a child, and his adventure ended fairly fast. Just a lady saw Leon, who was looking outside through the window. She rushed to lift him, stating that it was dangerous. Leon thought that he found that his family was a part of the Grand Duchy, which was widely known within the kingdom. Leon apologized to the nanny and thought that he was the son of Grand Duke Dragonia in the kingdom of Lionheart. As he reached the age of 8 years, he got a sword and started learning swordsmanship to become the future knight of that kingdom. He wondered if he was going to use sword QI and aura as well. The master of his was dispatched from the palace and came to meet him. Gothic said to Leon that he was sure that it was the will of the goddess that it would be highly rewarding to teach him, and was so pleased to meet Leon. Leon wondered about the Holy Knight, and then asked Gothic to take good care of him. As he got into training, he was dismayed that it felt like freaking child abuse because at the age of 14, he was told to move a very giant rock. Leon thought that Holy Knights were like monsters, even though they seemed like humans that were very hard to become. Gothic asked him to do one more lap as well. Leon wondered that they had to complete quests by training and become a knight of their kingdom, gaining experience and honor in the process. Leon was practicing swordsmanship with Gothic, but he wasn't able to make any attacks on Gothic. Leon thought that to be chosen by the Holy Grail, he had to drink the holy water, and as the son of Dragonia, he had to learn all things needed to become a Grand Duke. Just as Gothic attacked him and gave a lesson to just watch his opponent until the end. As Leon fell, he thought that it was a lesson for him to become the successor of the Grand Duke and the training to become a holy knight. He wondered if there was really a god, so he asked them to save him, even though he didn't believe in any religion. The scene shifts to when Leon was 16 years old, and he was in an area where heavy rain was falling. He saw something there. He roamed the world to gain acknowledgement about the goddess and become a holy knight after accepting his quest. Once, when he was in the forest, he noticed that a fire had started in a small village inside the forest. All the people there were asking for help and said that a lot of orcs were coming. Leon thought that if they kept racking up their fame and good deeds, she would eventually come to him, and that was so ridiculous. Some men there were trying to battle with the orcs. A man said to Gildas that there were a lot of orcs, and their lives were going to end there. All the orcs were heading towards them. Leon thought that there were lots of opportunities for him to use his sword, so that's why he was concerned. Leon attacked all those orcs and asked how they dared to invade the territory of the kingdom with his soldier feet. He then killed all of them and thought that there were lots of enemies of their kingdom. As he turned 20, he finally met the real goddess, and they weren't lying, he really saw a goddess. The goddess, Ariana, told him that she would give him a quest to know about his honor and faith. Leon knelt in front of Ariana and accepted her order. Leon believed that the goddess really existed, and after slaving away for many years, he finally became the Holy Knight. After becoming that, he killed orcs, tore apart goblins, and slew the evil cult. Eventually, he became the Earl Knight of the kingdom, giving him the authority to gather their knights, and he massacred around 700,000 orcs, including women and children, and he felt so refreshed. When he was 35 years old, the living saint or demigod, Argin, passed away, and chaos happened while he was battling the archdemon summoned by the Empire. The orcs were already enough of a headache, but denial was running amok, and that's why mankind needs to believe in gods and live faithfully. Putting all those things aside, they needed to elect a holy knight to become the successor of King Lionheart, who died with honor amidst all the chaos. As Leon approached Ariana, she told him that he was her faithful knight, a success as the symbol of honor and faith. He thought that the goddess descended upon them and selected him for that position of honor and fatigue, but he couldn't let down the citizens of the kingdom and the knights who followed him. He was transplanted with the sacred treasure from the goddess and vowed to protect the Holy Grail. By that, he became the Grand Duke Dragonia and the king of the Lionheart Kingdom. At 80 years old, many things had happened during all that time, including 3 great wars with orcs. Some weirdo hunchback goblin got involved with an archdemon, making the conditions of their empire even worse. Once, while they were on the battlefield, a knight came to Leon and told him that the Empire's school of dark magicians was enforcing experimentation again. Leon thought that all this was done because the Empire had accepted the bastardly northern cult, and how dare they break the god rule. Then Leon ordered to gather the knights there. It happened when they gave human rights to those who didn't even deserve to be slaves, so he should conquer them all. At the age of 96, Leon thought that the empire was finally done. An orc was doing something and ordered around 3 million lives, so he accepted his request. Leon thought that the emperor crossed that line, and the person who used to say he didn't want to die committed suicide along with 3 million citizens from the capital. Then he summoned the Lord of Chaos in the capital, and eventually Leon gathered the knights and took out the holy sword, which wasn't yet dry, with the grease from the orcs from last year. Then Leon said, "Let's get to the empire." At the age of 121, Leon tried his best, but that world was destroyed in front of him. He took a destroyed doll in his hand and thought that he tried his best to defeat the evil with all his holiness that was on that continent, but he couldn't stop them. Just then, Aaron called Leon. Leon replied to Aaron that he should be proud of his father because he died with honor and joined the feast of the gods. Leon asked the troops in front of him if they heard the sound of the villains across that area. Leon thought that they all were in fear, the women consoling their crying children, swallowing their tears, and the youths gathering the dying flames of resistance in their hands. Leon said that those orcs were the ones who stole their brothers, so did they hear the sound of the villains who had taken away their loved ones? Leon thinks that the knights were trying to plant seeds of hope in a wasteland soaked with blood, but his goddess was the owner of the holy sword, holy spear, and the holy grail. Leon asked others if they didn't hear the sound of the villains who were trying to violate everything. So let's be enraged eternally and be enraged at those fools who were deceived with victory. Leon thought that even the first knight wouldn't be able to stop the enemies who were spread far beyond the horizon. Leon said to the troops to just remember that as long as they had honor, they would not lose. He then took out his sword and asked the goddess what that foolish knight should do. Leon ordered to charge at the enemies, and they would have to win for the honor of their kingdom. He reminisced about the winter of that year, that time when they had the final battle with billions of devils who filled the earth. The barbarian slaves were used as the main shields, and the civilian knights armed with spears and swords died with honor along with the glorious knights. They chose to be the agents of all gods and all the holy temples. Leon attacked the evils and headed ahead by slashing his sword. Until the end, he defeated the demons and toppled countless demon lords and archdemons. There, he showed the real power of the holy knight to all those evils. At the 217th year, winter was going to end, but he was still battling. Slowly he was defeating, and finally at the 256th year, he destroyed the last remaining demon gate, and there was nowhere left for them to escape to. He seemed so angry and said to the evils that now they were all stuck in his world with him, so he would kill all of them on his own. The evils were shocked to hear that. Leon thought that he wasn't stuck, but those evils were stuck with him there. Then he started killing them again. At the 300 years, he finally killed one giant evil, and that evil screamed so loud. Just some people came there and saw Leon. An attendant asked what happened there. Leon defeated the archdemon in only one slash, and that was the courageous one. Leon said that it was not the time to fall, so rise up and fight. All looked at him, and a lady asked him who he was. Leon replied that he was King Lionheart. There was a yellow aura around Leon and his dress was all gone. Leon added that he was the Knight of the Glorious, and the agent who carried out the will of the holy temples, Leon, and that was the 300th year when he crossed paths with the Earthlings. Owing to a gate was opened there, and its rank was unidentifiable black. The Korean Hunter Association and World Hunter Association requested that the nation's largest guilds participate in the raid, but the request was denied due to the fact that the difficulty of the gate was unknown. At last, the government ordered the Korean Hunter Association to go in, trusting it, which was basically an execution order. And what he found there was a naked person, and all those things they saw there. Kim kept calling Hari, who was still thinking about those things like a boy named Leon. As Hari heard Kim's voice, Kim commented that she seemed tired, so he offered her something to drink. She thanked him for that. that. Kim sat next to her and asked about her experience. She replied that no one believed her. Kim said that it would be expected. Hari explained that there was a black rank demon gate with an even greater devil, which was coming back alive without the help of other guilds, and it was already a miracle. But to have that, there was only one man. Hari said that he was the survivor from inside the gate. Kim agreed and mentioned that it was a survivor from a different world. He thought that occasionally people managed to survive in the gate realm. Those gates had appeared all around the world over the last 30 years and shared similarities. The truth was, the theme of those worlds was one of easy destruction paths or was already destroyed. Sometimes, survivors managed to come back to Earth while retaining the unbelievable strength they had earned in the demon realm. That's why the government tried hard to cater to the needs of the survivors and set plans to scout them,